Hello kids, welcome to today's maths class, and today we'll do introduction to graphs. René Descartes was the French philosopher and writer whose work, La Geometrique, allows the algebraic equations to be expressed geometrical shapes, 2D coordinate system, that was named after him. He is credited as the father of the analytical geometry. He actually merged the algebra with the Euclidean geometry. In honor of the Descartes, the system used is described. A point in the plane is known as Cartesian system. Next is Cartesian coordinate system. Suppose you go to cinema hall and search for your reserved seat. You need to know two numbers, the row number and the seat number. This is the basic method to locate your seat. Observe the movie ticket given below. So this is the movie ticket. You have to find your seats. So how will you find? So for that you should know the row and the seat number. The seat number L10 represents the seat reserved for you. Observe the seating arrangement of one of the cinema hall given in the adjoining figure. So this is the sitting arrangement and your seat is in L row and 10 number. So this is the L row and here this is your seat. So this way you can find or locate your seat. The coordinate system help you to find your seats in the cinema hall. If your seat number is L10, you just have to move up to L row toward the column 10 to get your seat. L row में जाके जो 10 number seat है, that is yours. In case of reaching the particular point or seat, we need to know the column number as well as the row number. Thus, the position of any point lying on the plane can be represented with the help of two perpendicular lines. Next is coordinate axis. The Cartesian coordinate system is used to determine each point unequally in the two-dimension plane by two numbers called the x-coordinate and y-coordinate of the point. Observe the two coordinate axes in the graph below. X-coordinate and this is y-coordinate. Each reference line in the coordinate system is called the coordinate axis. The horizontal line x, o, x dash along which the horizontal distance are measured is known as x-axis. This x, o, x, this is known as x-axis. Clear? The vertical line y, o, y dash along which the vertical distance is measured is known as y-axis. This y, o, y dash, this vertical line represent y-axis. This represent x-axis. The straight line x, o, x dash and line y, o, y dash are mutually perpendicular and meet each other at the point known as the origin. Since the positive number lie one the direction ox and oy in the plane, ox and oy are called the positive direction of the x-axis and y-axis respectively. Similarly, ox dash and oy dash are called the negative direction of the x-axis and y-axis respectively. So, जो line है x, o, x dash, this is, and this is y, o, y dash. These are perpendicular line and this where they intersect, it is known as the point of origin. So, जो ox है and oy, it represent positive direction. Next, the line ox dash and oy dash, ये represent करती है negative को. Next is quadrants. The two axes divided the plane in four regions, namely quadrants. The four regions are numbered 1, 2, 3 and 4. Anti-clockwise from ox, the quadrant x, o, y is the first quadrant. y o x dash is the second quadrant, and x o y dash is the third quadrant, and y dash o x is the fourth quadrant. So these are the four quadrants: first, second, third and fourth. Here both x and y are positive in this quadrant. X is negative and y is positive. First we write about the x-axis, then y-axis. In this quadrant both are negative. X and y both are negative. In fourth quadrant, x-axis is positive and y is negative. Next is tips. The x coordinate is always written before the y coordinate. हमेशा पहले x coordinate को लिखते हैं, then we write the y coordinate. Here one table is given. First quadrant जो है x और y, both x and y are positive. X dash o y, that is second quadrant, where x is negative and y is positive. X dash o y dash, that is third quadrant, both x and y are negative. X o y dash, that is fourth quadrant, where x is positive and y is negative. Clear? Suppose we have to locate a point P on the graph paper whose coordinate is A and B. A is called the x coordinate or abscissa of P, and B is called the y coordinate or ordinate of P. X के होते coordinate abscissa कहलाते हैं and y के ordinates. For locating the point P, A, B on graph paper, we take a distance from y-axis and b distance from x-axis. Where these lines intersect, that will be the point P. Now we'll take an example. Plot the following points on graph paper. A points at 3 and 4. So 3 x-axis पे होगा and 4 होगा y-axis पे. 3 is abscissa and 4 is ordinate. So both are positive. That means they are on first quadrant. So 3 x-axis पे it is here and 4 is here. So this is the point A which we want to locate. Clear? So this way we can locate any point on graph paper. On x-axis, move 3 units to the right side of y-axis, and on y-axis move 4 units above the x-axis. So draw perpendiculars to both axes of these points. The intersection point of these perpendicular is the required point A, 3 and 4. So इस तरीके से perpendicular draw करेंगे and this point will show 3 and 4 which we want to, the point we want to locate. Like this we can locate any point on graph paper. Next, to draw the graphs of different equations. Now we'll take an example. Draw the graph for the following equation: x equals to 4. For x equals to 4, what we'll do? On x-axis move 4 units to the right side. 4 units to the right side here of the y-axis and draw the perpendicular like this. We'll draw the perpendicular. This is the required line x equals to 4. Clear? So this way we can draw. Next is tips. A point lies on the x-axis if it is y coordinate. क्या लिखा हुआ है? If its y coordinate is 0. अच्छा.
Action.
Next is tips. A point lies on the x-axis if its y coordinate is 0. A point lie on y-axis if its x coordinate is 0. अगर x coordinate पे कब होगा? जब उसका जो y coordinate है वो 0 है, और y-axis पे तब होगा जब उसका x coordinate 0 है. Next is exercise 21A. Find the quadrants in which the following coordinate lie. First is 4 and 6. So both x and y axis, both coordinates are positive, so it will lie in first quadrant. First quadrant. Clear? So you have to practice all the questions. We will move to next topic. Next is application of graphs. You must have observed by now that to draw a graph we need two variables, x coordinate and y coordinate. One of these variable is independent variable and the other is dependent variable. The variable whose value depend on the value of other variable is called the dependent variable. The independent variable is the variable whose value does not depend on other. For example, the area of the circle can only be determined if the radius is known to us. As the radius of a circle varies, so does the area. Thus, we can say the area is dependent on the value of radius, which is independent variable. We shall learn to represent such variable graphically. Next, tips. To plot a straight line graph, we need to find the coordinates of at least 2 points that satisfy the given equation condition. Now, we will take an example. The rate and the quantity of mangoes per kg given below. So, here the weight and the cost is given. So, find out how many kilogram of mangoes can be brought for rupees 238. Solution क्या हो जाए? The cost of mangoes depend on the quantity of mangoes bought. To depict the graphically, we shall choose the suitable scale. So, scale हमारी है 1 unit equals to rupees 34. 1 unit represent करता है 34 को. So, 34 का गैप लेके इस तरीके से ड्रॉ कर लेंगे. Clearly, the x coordinate corresponding to 238 is 7. 238 को अगर हम x कोऑर्डिनेट पे मैच करें तो ये क्या आता है 0.7 पे. सो 7 kg मैंगो कैन बी बॉट फॉर रुपीज 238. अंडरस्टैंड? सो प्रैक्टिस ऑल द एग्जाम्पल्स. नेक्स्ट इज एक्सरसाइज 21B. Draw the graphs for the following table which show the quantity of petrol and its costs. Also find cost of the 35-liter petrol with the help of graph. So, here the petrol in liter and cost is given. So, first you will draw the graph on graph paper and answer the question. So, this question you have to do by yourself. So, practice all the questions of this exercise. Here we end the chapter. I hope you understand it well. Now, you have to practice it.